Medical Intuitive Insights with your host, Dr. Gloria Warren, is a program that presents topics on medical intuition, holistic opportunities outside of mainstream society, and scientific research as applied today. Topics range from online intuitive readings to interviews unveiling alternative healing modalities and discussing them with inspirational leaders. Dr. Warren is the bridge within holistic arts while stressing the balance between the spiritual and physical self. So now, please welcome the host of Medical Intuitive Insights, Dr. Gloria Warren.
Why does healing fail? What blocks repair? Is safety biological? Detox isn't a cleanse. It's how the body actually heals. Hello and welcome to Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm Dr. Gloria Warren. Let me start with this. Your body detoxes every single day, naturally. If the pathways are open, it works. Today's conversation is about detoxification, but not in the way it's usually discussed. This is not about cleanses, extremes, or quick fixes, and I know we've all tried them. This is about how the body actually heals and why regeneration slows when detoxification becomes congested. If you've ever felt fatigued, inflamed, foggy, who hasn't? Or like your body just isn't bouncing back, this episode is for you. So let's get started, okay? What is detox, really? How many times have you wanted to do a detox? Let's begin by clearing up one of the most common misunderstandings in the health culture, in the trends today. Detox is not something you do. You heard me. It isn't. Detox is something your body is designed to do naturally. Every day, your body processes metabolic waste, hormones, yes, hormones, hormonal byproducts, environmental exposures, and inflammatory debris. And it does this through its four primary systems. And I'm sure you've heard this. It's not the only systems. These are the primary ones: the liver, the gut, the kidneys, and the lymphatic system. The human body is already a detoxification system. Detox is not something you added from the outside for the most part. It isn't an internal coordinated, well, it actually would be a coordinated process that runs continuously as long as systems are supported and not overwhelmed. Remember, detox isn't a cleanse. It's how the body actually heals. So we're going to talk about how detox actually happens in the natural human body. There's 6 steps basically involved. So let's look at step 1, detection. The body recognizes waste. Every moment cells produce byproducts, metabolic waste, used hormones, inflammatory debris, and Lord knows we probably have a lot of those, and environmental exposures as well. The body does not ignore these substances. It recognizes them as no longer useful and flags them for removal. For example, when a cell is overwhelmed and cannot keep itself healthy, it can become inflamed, and this would trigger the other cells around it to eat it up, a process called apoptosis. Sure, we've heard that on one of our past shows. I've talked about it several times. This detection occurs at the cellular level and biochemical levels before symptoms ever even appear. Symptoms don't mean detox is happening. They often mean detox is struggling to complete. Let's look at step 2, okay? Transformation. The liver makes toxins removable. It transforms them into removable products that they can be taken out of your body. Many toxins are fat soluble though, which means they are not easily excreted. This is where the liver becomes essential. The liver performs 2 phases of detoxification process. It neutralizes the substances and then transforms them in the forms the body can eliminate. This process requires adequate nutrients, sufficient energy, and manageable toxic load. If the liver becomes overwhelmed, it slows down. The whole process does. Waste backs up and inflammation increases. That's where the inflammation comes in. It's when these toxins start to back up. As the primary detox organ, the liver processes hormones, neutralizes chemicals, converts fat-soluble toxins into water-based soluble waste, which we've discussed. When the liver is overburdened, estrogen dominance increases, inflammation goes up, and energy drops. Support for the liver is not extreme, it's rhythmic. It means regular meals, adequate protein, and reduced alcohol and chemical exposure. This is why detox is not about forcing elimination. It's about supporting information and transformation first. By the way, we're going to actually get into detox programs in the third section of our program. So I will be telling you a natural, gentle detox that will not make your cortisone go up and have your whole system going crazy, okay? Third step, though, is elimination. Waste must exit. At least we hope so. Once toxins are metabolized, they must be eliminated from the body. This happens through several exit routes. The gut, it's the primary exit pathway for detoxing waste. If elimination is slow or irregular, toxins are reabsorbed into the bloodstream. Inflammatory signaling continues and increases, and detox becomes incomplete. Regular bowel movement is a biological requirement, not a preference. So, another area that we detox is through the kidneys. The kidneys filter blood continuously. They remove water-soluble waste, excessive minerals, and metabolic byproducts. This process depends on hydration and blood flow. Dehydration, excessive caffeine, and chronic stress impair filtration. When kidneys struggle, waste accumulates, blood chemistry shifts, and fatigue increases. We don't want that, right? Hydration's not about volume, it's about consistency. I think we have to really consider that as something, because I know most people, they think hydration means, well, I have to increase my blood volume, so I need to drink more, But blood volume is based on so many different things, not just hydration. You can drink all the water you want, and it can still possibly not increase your blood volume. If there's not enough minerals like sodium, potassium, chloride, your body's not going to retain that fluid. So sometimes you see people walking around with water bottles and they're chugging down water constantly. They're actually probably flushing out a lot of minerals their bloodstream needs to survive. So, by the way, if this message blesses you, please subscribe. It helps us continue sharing knowledge that supports healing and stewardship. All right? So let's continue on here. We are going now to talk about the breathing as detox pathways. We already looked at step 1, detection, and how the body recognizes waste. Step 2, the transformation, and how the liver makes toxins removable. And step 3, elimination, and why waste must exit. One of those ways is through the lungs. Let's look at the lungs as a detox pathway, shall we? Okay. Breathing is a detox pathway. Lungs remove carbon dioxide, acidic metabolic waste, volatile organic compounds, excess nitric acid byproducts, heat and water vapor. Yes, we do give off vapors, and inflammatory and immune signaling byproducts. Shallow breathing reduces this elimination route. Slow, deep breathing improves oxygenation and detox efficiency. So we're going to do one more before the commercial break. Let's look at step 4, which is drainage. The lymphatic system. It clears cellular waste. The lymphatic system, you know where your lymph nodes are? Your lymph nodes are here. Under here, you have one here. You have in the back of the skull. You have it coming down here in your chest, going this way. You have it under your arms. You have it in your groin area and coming down your legs a little somewhat. So there are lymph nodes all over the body, and they keep trying to clean out excess waste. byproducts and cellular debris and inflammatory waste. Unlike the lymph, though, unlike the heart, it has no pump. There's nothing that pumps it other than maybe the circulation that goes near it, and it relies on movement more or less, muscle contraction and breathing. This is why I've said it in my past, if you don't move around, if you don't move it, you lose it. If you don't use your legs, you're going to lose your legs. I mean, you'll keep your legs, but I mean, hopefully, but your circulation is going to go bad. So keep moving around. Be an active person. Don't be sedate. Muscle contraction helps your lymph nodes as well. It helps keep them clear. It helps keep them healthy. It gives them more oxygen through the bloodstream. There's other things you can do too, but like I said, that'll be at the end of section 3 and maybe even going into section 4. Okay. So when lymph nodes stagnate, when they become stagnant, they get harder, they get maybe even swollen and larger. Inflammation lingers around. Immune activation persists and repairs slow down. This is why gentle movement is not exercise, it's drainage. It's essential. It's not an option. People may think, oh, I just don't want to do that, but it's not an option. You need to consider that without movement, our bodies cannot exist. Now, here, let's look at this one for a minute. Step 5 is regulation, and that's the nervous system. It decides on timing. So when we talk about the nervous system, detoxification is regulated by the nervous system. It's the brains of the outfit, basically. All these nerves come from signaling to the brain, and believe it or not, it also controls detoxification. So healthy brain, healthy circulation to the brain, things of that nature. When the body perceives danger or threat itself, what do you think happens? The blood flow shifts away from digestion. Detox enzymes downregulate. Energy is diverted to survival mode. Cortisol rises. ATP is diverted into survival. Do you remember what AT&T stands for? I discussed it in a couple sessions ago. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. It is the cell's primary energy molecule, called the energy currency of the cell. So you have to have healthy ATP in order to survive. But when the blood flow shifts away, it's not getting what it needs, and it's a circle. So ATP provides usable energy to the cells, repair and regenerate tissue. It does it all the time, constantly. It synthesizes DNA and proteins, maintains cell membranes, power muscles contraction so you can keep moving. Excuse me. It transmits nerve cells from the brain and not from the brain. It could be parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system. It supports immune responses, drives detox processes. Without sufficient ATP, cells cannot repair even if nutrients and oxygens are present. See my show on cellular regeneration and rejuvenation for further information on ATP. Okay, let's get off of ATP now. Basically, this means you can eat perfectly, you can hydrate, you can supplement, but if your nervous system is constantly signaling danger, danger, repair will pause. I wanted to say Will Robinson, but I didn't. Now I did. Okay. Even with perfect nutrition, detox slows under chronic stress. What do we have today? Stress. Turn that news off. It's happening in your backyard. Maybe you don't need to hear everything. Just maybe you're involved. That's fine, but don't listen to everything. Besides, a lot of the things are not the truth under the Lord's word. So therefore, to offset the body's danger signals, try safety signals such as breathing, stillness, prayer, laughter. Tell the body we are not under stress. We are not under threat. You may process and release. Process and release. Okay? We're going to take a quick commercial break. You'll want to stick around. We're going to go through the last step, the resolution step, and then we're going to continue on. You're going to love what you hear. So please, if you want to watch this at any time, please go in and watch it again. You can take notes if you like, and it's there for you for your for you to look at and get all the information from. We'll be right back.
Mike Zorek, a 3-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a 6-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to Medical Intuitive Insights. Our topic today, detox isn't a cleanse. It's how the body actually heals. So we've noted some detox pathways in the human body in certain steps. Steps 1 was detection and how the body recognizes waste. Step 2 is transformation. That's how the liver makes toxins removable. Step 3, elimination and why waste must exit. One of those ways is through the lungs. We had looked at the lungs. We talked about the removal of carbon dioxide, acetic metabolic waste, volatile organic compounds, excessive nitric acid byproducts, heat and water vapor, especially inflammatory and immune signaling byproducts. It's very important. Then we talked about step 4, drainage. The lymphatic system clears cellular waste. Cellular debris, immune byproducts, inflammatory waste. There's that inflammatory waste again. Through the lungs, through the lymphatic system. It's basically all of our waste removal takes out inflammatory waste. But there is no pump in the lymphatic system, so movement is a key to staying healthy. Otherwise, inflammation will stick around, immune activation persists, and repair slows. Gentle movement, though, is not an exercise, it's drainage. You need to keep moving. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. So keep moving around. And then we looked at regulation, the nervous system, how that's the brains of the outfit. That's the one that overlooks all of the detoxing in the human body is through the nervous system. It decides the timing. That's the truth. When the body perceives danger or any threat to itself, blood flows, shifts away from digestion, detox enzymes deregulate. Energy is diverted to survival. That forces the cortisol up, and ATP is diverted to survival. And, there's so many different things that happen when the blood flow is not getting where it needs to go, and the nervous system does not say, hey, it's time to detox. Let's get busy there, folks. This means you can eat perfectly, rehydrate, you can supplement. Your nervous system is constantly signaling danger, though repair. It'll pause from that. That's what we have to change. We're going to discuss more about that in a little bit in the show. Even with perfect nutrition, people think that just because they eat right and they're doing things right like that, that's all they need. No, detox slows under chronic stress, therefore offsetting the body's danger signals. Try safety signals such as deep breathing, stillness, quietness, prayer, laughter. I love laughter for it. We're not under threat. That's what you have to make them think. We're not under threat. Tell your body this. You may process and release. If we're ever under threat, this is what I tell in my prayers. If I'm ever under threat, I know my body will react instantly. All I need to do is change my mind and go. So I'm not worried about it all the time. Keep your body safe and let it know it's safe. So let's look at the step 6, resolution. Inflammation must turn off. Inflammation initiates detox and repair, but it must resolve. When inflammation remains elevated, detox pathways stay congested. That's your lungs, your lymph nodes, everything. Energy remains diverted and regeneration pauses. In other words, your cells stop regenerating. They just slow down, and they can actually stop for that time being because the blood is being pulled from the tissue to your muscles into a fight or flight with inflammation. Chronic misalignment creates internal friction. Friction consumes energy. Diverted energy cannot be used for repairs. Research has consistently shown purpose reduces inflammation, or purpose in your life, I should say. It reduces inflammation, meaning it improves recovery and alignment, stabilizes the nervous system. You need to look into the roots of your problems and figure out, am I walking the right path? Is this where the universe and the Lord wants me to be right now? Maybe it's still a learning experience. Most likely it is. I'm constantly learning, but everything I've learned, I know I've applied to my life today. So it's remarkable, miracles in action. So resolution, this step 6, it creates tissue repair, cellular renewal, and system reset. Cells respond not only to chemistry, but to coherence. Coherence occurs when thoughts align with actions, values align with behavior, and life feels internally consistent. So if somebody's going to pay me just to go and cause an accident outside, it's against my values. Remember, this actual coherence is thoughts align with actions, values align with behavior. It's a big message to get out there today in today's world. Values align with your behavior, and when it does, with the other two things, coherence occurs in your body. So when the values don't align, your health is not going to get better, or in overall, you're going to age at a faster rate. From a medical intuitive perspective, this makes perfect sense. But, from a research analyst and a certified epidemiologist and everything else, I do the research as well, and I put it all together. So what I found is chronic inflammation does not mean the body's broken. It means the cycle has not been allowed to complete. You get inflammation, what happens? You can get it from having something toxic in your body. You can get it from cells dying at a faster rate. You can just start getting swelling. You can get it from an injury. But if the process of inflammation doesn't resolve in a timely manner, then it becomes a bigger problem. But the core integration statement is, let's just bring this together. Detox requires detection, transformation, elimination, drainage, regulation, and resolution. Those were our steps we just went through. You have to have all those: detection, transformation, elimination, drainage, regulation, and resolution. You can't skip one of those steps. If any step is blocked, the entire process slows down. This is why detox is not a product. It's a process. I can't say, oh, I'm going to drink down a cup of olive oil tonight and I'll be fine. It doesn't work that way. You're going to shock your liver. The liver is going to stop producing. It's going to cause your gut to empty out. Your liver is going to actually be in shock. It's not going to function correctly for at least a week. But here's the problem with that. You may think you feel better, but actually you just feel better because your body emptied out its colon and you're not getting a lot of bacteria uptake back into your bloodstream. You know what happens long term? Less bacteria into your bloodstream, good natural bacteria, like what normally should be going back into the bloodstream when your body absorbs fluids. That bacteria keeps your immunity up. There's always something that goes wrong with these fast, quick fix detox programs. So when these systems are flowing, though, repair proceeds naturally. So when they're congested, cellular tissue, regeneration, it slows. Not because the body is failing, but because it's overwhelmed. Here's the key to understand. Regeneration cannot proceed in congestion. Congestion is inflammation. It's debris around the area, say a lymph node. It's toxins around the area. Maybe it's byproducts from the lymph nodes trying to stay healthy. And it's pushing it out around them. The body will always prioritize safety and survival over repair. Please remember that. So why do cleanses miss the point? Detoxification should be about flow, not force. It's sequential, not instant. Before waste can leave the body, it must move through a sequence. And that's the detection of waste, the transformation or neutralization, primarily by the liver, the transport through the blood and lymph nodes, as well as lymph fluid, the elimination via gut, kidneys, lung, or skin. Cleanses often ignore this sequence. Forcing removal without open pathways is comparable to turning on a faucet when the drain is blocked. Wow, that's a picture for you. So let's look at section 3. What happens when waste cannot exit? Okay, when detox pathways are congested, which they are quite frequently, the body adapts in predictable ways. Inflammation remains elevated. Inflammatory signaling stays active because the body's still managing unresolved waste. Repair processes cannot complete under constant inflammatory messaging. Put simply, if I have an inflamed elbow and I say inflammation because it's not just swelling. Swelling does not include pathogens or toxins. Inflammation does. So if I have an inflamed elbow, let's say I injured it. Well, the lymph is getting in there somewhat, but if the congestion keeps up in that area, congestion meaning hard for things to flow through due to certain other things. So if the congestion is stopping it from getting through the way it needs to, the lymph can't get through to it as well either. Lymph can get trapped there, and then that's going to create toxins as well. So you got to keep things flowing. You need to consider inflammation. You need to consider how long you have inflammation, where that inflammation is, how you want to clear that inflammation. That's what detox is all about. So hormones recirculate in this situation. If hormones are not properly cleared, they're reabsorbed rather than eliminated. This can contribute further to fatigue, mood changes, weight fluctuation, and hormone imbalance. There's a lot of people out there with some problems with their moods and fatigue. Fatigue is a big sign that hormones are being recirculated. So probably one of mine. Well, we're going to take a commercial break. Up next, we'll continue to discuss why detox alone isn't enough, how the nervous system determines whether repair is allowed, and gentle, natural detox support pathways. That's what you're waiting for, folks. That's what I'm going to start telling you about, the natural detox that really works. Remember, if you're going to do anything on this area, you need to seek your medical professional, get your advice that you feel comfortable with. Could be with somebody like me or somebody like your chiropractor or your nurse or whoever you decide. That's up to you. So we're going to take that commercial break. We'll be back. You're listening to Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm Dr. Gloria Warren. We'll be right there.
Master of words, powerful player. What life-changing words can Dr. Janet Smith Warfield pull out of her magical toolbox that just might mysteriously open a door you never knew was there? A door to free yourself from fear forever. Transform your rage into right action. Release your guilt. Position you into a life of freedom, purpose, passion, power, and peace. All quite suddenly, unexpectedly, and almost miraculously, with no effort on your part. Join Dr. Janet on Dancing with Words, Dancing with Wisdom, as she and her guests show you how words map our experiences, immersing you in a sound bath that relaxes your muscles, opens your mind, and supports you in co-creating your extraordinary life. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals.
Welcome back. You're listening to Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm Dr. Gloria Warren. You know, today we are discussing detox. It isn't a cleanse. So we wanted to discuss how the body actually does do a natural detox, how it actually works by itself without us doing a natural detox. And that's where we're at today. So if this message blessed you, please subscribe. It helps to continue sharing knowledge that supports healing and stewardship. Let's help more people, okay? So we looked at section 3, and section 3 is what happens when waste cannot exit. And that big thing that pops up, inflammation. How many of us don't have a problem with inflammation from time to time? We wake up, oh my gosh, my face is so swollen. How am I going to go to work? Or my gosh, my hands are just so swollen and I didn't hurt them or injure them. Why are they swollen? Well, it's the body's natural response. We were on hormones recirculate, so if hormones are not properly cleared, they are reabsorbed rather than eliminated. This can contribute to fatigue, mood changes, weight fluctuations, and hormone imbalance. By the way, Life Connect retreats, the next one is in December of 2026. We go through all of this. This is a one workshop that we go through all of this, much deeper than you're hearing here. And we actually optimize and customize your specific natural detoxes that you can be doing. And you can do them there while you're there. And we will optimize it even further for you while we're there. So you don't want to miss that. So if hormones aren't properly cleared, they reabsorb rather than eliminate. This can contribute to fatigue, mood changes, weight fluctuations. I mean, how many of us don't have that from time to time? And hormonal imbalance. So doing this type of scenario really is going to help most of us, which I love. So mitochondrial energy is diverted then when these things happen. The mitochondria shift from repair and regeneration to damage control. Remember we talked fight or flight? Energy is used to manage oxidative stress and toxic load instead of cellular renewal. This is also in my age rejuvenation, which we do that whole thing down in Mexico. That's what it's all revolves around. Rejuvenation, regeneration of cells. So cellular repair pauses, with the situation of the mitochondrial energy being diverted. Cells do not regenerate efficiently in toxic or inflammatory environments. Repair pauses until waste is cleared and safety restored. This pause is protective, not pathological. The myth of pulling toxins out. Cleanses often promise to pull toxins out of the body. However, toxins move only when the liver can transform them. The gut can eliminate them. The kidneys can filter them, and the lymph system can drain. There's also other pathways of elimination. We'll go into that in a little bit. Without flow, though, removal is not possible. You cannot just pull toxins out, okay, regardless of intensity. Detox isn't a cleanse, how the body actually heals. So next section is what the body actually needs to detox. True detox support focus on predictable nourishment, adequate hydration, gentle, consistent movement, nervous system regulation, and reduced toxic load. These are all things we can work on. These conditions allow detoxification to complete naturally rather than stall mid-process. Detoxification is not about intensity, it's about efficiency. When pathways are supported, inflammation resolves, hormones clear, energy returns, and cellular repair resumes. Where might congestion exist in the body? Or lifestyle? How about your body? Where might congestion exist? How about your lifestyle? How is it influencing that congestion? Have you ever confused force with effectiveness? I know I have. Sure. I did some detoxes in my life. I didn't realize what damage they can create and how they didn't work. They actually made things worse in the long run, 3 months later or so. So what small changes could improve flow in your body than adding stress? So let's look at section 5 here. Gentle natural detox support by pathway. So we're going to take liver first. It's the transformation phase, if you recall. That's when it makes everything capable of being eliminated. It's like a filter in your whole bloodstream, and it filters out all these bad things out, and it makes it all capable of getting rid of it. The liver neutralizes and metabolizes and converts toxins for elimination. Gentle support strategies could include consistent balanced meals. They prevent blood sugar spikes, reduces cortisol burden on the liver metabolism. And yes, did you know that? Regular balanced meals can not only, stabilize blood sugar, as long as you're eating right, of course. It can reduce cortisol, because if you're starving yourself, your body, there it goes again, fight or flight, cortisol skyrockets. Adequate protein intake is really important. Needed for phase 1 and phase 2 detox enzymes. It supports I always have trouble with that word, glutathione production. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts support detox enzyme pathways as well. And it's all done naturally. So bitters before meal. Oh my gosh, this is like one of my favorite things. Bitters before meals. And bitters are dandelion, arugula, lemon water. They stimulate the bile flow so your body can start to digest it as soon as you start eating. If you have a drink before a meal, it doesn't stimulate the bile flow. It actually will make things fall asleep, less reactive. And that's not what you want. You want it to be more reactive to stimulate the bile flow. Milk thistle assists with liver healing, on the other hand, too. So that's something that I have with my patients. I put them on milk thistle right away if they have any problems. It's my number one, actually. But I also use for my patients, I'll refer them to, what is it called? It's a bitters. It's the kind you get in the liquor store. Aromatic type bitters, and it has gentian root in it. Gentian root is fabulous for the liver. It clears the liver with milk thistle. Wonderful stuff. You also need adequate sleep. So you got cruciferous vegetables, bitters before meals, adequate sleep. Bitters before meals actually increases the secretion of bile there too. That just You need that. That's like if you have an upset stomach, do you take baking soda product, or do you? I don't believe in those pills. I take baking soda products or vinegar products. You one or the other. So do you have a sour stomach? Did you eat a lot or did you eat a lot and you've got acid indigestion coming up a little, but you just ate a lot? Then you need vinegar. If you have a sour stomach, then you need you have too much. You need to, there's different ways to do it. You can call me if you have a problem. Limit alcohol and unnecessary medications. Gentle liver support is about nourishment, not restriction. So the gut is the primary exit pathway, especially the end when you get to the colon. But it's all a process from your stomach, even your mouth, going all the way down and throughout. So the gut removes transformed waste. Daily bowel regulatory aims for consistent elimination. So you need to aim for consistent elimination. Fiber, whole foods, like vegetables. I'm not a big believer in nuts and seeds because they scratch the inside of the intestines and they can lead to further problems down the road. But there are a lot of different vegetable fibers that are good, and they bind and carry waste out, which is wonderful. Fermented foods, huge fan. They support the microbiome balance. I should do a whole show on fermented foods. It's just, we should do a cooking show on fermented foods, how to ferment foods even. That type of thing is wonderful. It gives you natural bacteria that are supportive of the gut. Hydration keeps stool soft and mobile, but it can't be just water, and I don't mean sweet sodas or anything like that. It has to be healthy things. You need even some bone broth is good, because bone broth, if you have a little sodium in there, it actually helps, stays in your system and goes out through your colon and helps things move along. It can also constipate though if it's too rich and you don't have enough fiber. So make sure to, keep a balance. Calm eating environment. I can't stress this enough, but stress impairs digestive motility. Stress impairs it. So calm eating environment. With stress around when you're trying to eat, your body will go in fight or flight. Your body won't process the foods that are being put in your digestive tract. The gut must move for detox to complete. Next, we have the kidney for filtration, the filtration pathway, another filtration scenario. They filter water-soluble waste from the blood, steady hydration, spread water intake throughout the day. Don't just guzzle down all day, half the day and then nothing. Herbal teas, my favorite. Nettle, dandelion, parsley. I mean, you can have herbal teas there's so many herbs because I'm an herbologist as well, and there's so many herbs that will actually cure things. So we need to use herb tea is a good way to get things to move along and filter your kidneys. Moderate sodium intake, prevents fluid imbalance. Nervous system regulation, chronic stress reduces kidney filtration efficiency. So believe it or not, chronic stress, because it pulls the blood from your internal organs, puts the blood in under stress into your muscles so that you're more in that fight or flight scenario. I mean, we're all Neanderthals at one time, I guess, so it takes it away from things like your kidneys that filter the toxins out of your bloodstream. We need that filtration. We need it. So hydration supports filtration, not flooding. In other words, don't overdo hydration. You need to, we'll show you the difference if you come to or I should say when you come to the Mayan Riviera for our program. It's a life-changing program too. It's not just a workshop you go to. There's 10 workshops, 2 a day. And there's meditation, there's yoga, you'll love it. So we're going to take a commercial break. Next, we'll continue with gentle detox support for specific pathways. If you would like a checklist or further information, when this video is published, check in the comments. You'll see it posted. There will be a checklist for your detox support questions, and also something else to surprise you. I'm not going to tell you what that is. So stay right there. We'll be right back.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Master of words, powerful player. What life-changing words can Dr. Janet Smith Warfield pull out of her magical toolbox that just might mysteriously open a door you never knew was there? A door to free yourself from fear forever. Transform your rage into right action. Release your guilt. Position you into a life of freedom, purpose, passion, power, and peace. All quite suddenly, unexpectedly, and almost miraculously, with no effort on your part. Join Dr. Janet on Dancing with Words, Dancing with Wisdom, as she and her guests show you how words map our experiences, immersing you in a sound bath that relaxes your muscles, opens your mind, and supports you in co-creating your extraordinary life.
Welcome back to Medical Intuitive Insights. We'll now continue with gentle detox support strategies for the lymphatic system, lungs, and nervous system. Remember, that's the brains of the outfit, not me. It's your nervous system. So lymphatic system, it basically says drainage. It's all about drainage. The lymph removes immune debris and inflammatory waste. Simple as that. It does it all over your body. Daily movement is what helps it. So daily movement, walking, stretching, my favorite, and yoga, gentle yoga. You know, stretching itself, people think it's just such a simple thing, but yet when you stretch, it takes that muscle, it stretches it out, and it tenses it as it stretches it, and then it releases it and relaxes it. And even the relaxation from the stretching is beneficial. So not only is it a physical thing with the blood flow and squeezing out the blood as you're stretching it, and then letting the fresher blood get back in there, it's also about the blood flow, carrying the things away, and relaxation. So regarding the lymph nodes again, deep diaphragmatic breathing. It acts an internal lymph pump. So what I mean by that is my breathing techniques that I teach. I lift up my chest, I'll put my arms all the way up, stretch as far as you can, open your lungs all the way, and then take an extra deep breath. Little deep breath, just a little itsy bitsy tiny one, and relax and let all the darkness come out. And then do it 3 times. That's all, 3 breaths. Breathing in that divine light, and then exhale the darkness down and out. Let Mother Earth take care of it for you. Okay, so one of the biggies that I do with everyone that comes to see me, dry brushing. That's light stimulation toward the heart. You know, you can do Reiki, extension of your fingers with the light going through and stimulate that thing's towards the heart, towards out, and breathing in and out like this. You can do it in so many different ways, helping your neurological stress and your neck and everything. I do acupressure, and this, for me, that's wonderful. Contrast showers, multiple temperature shifts, stimulate circulation. I'm not one for ice baths. I think it shocks your body too much, puts it into fight and flight, gets the adrenaline going, and then too much adrenaline hurts the kidneys in the long run. I mean, then you get adrenaline fatigue, you know, a few days later or even a few hours later, depending on the person. You know, there's certain things that they're trends. That's all they are. Consider that. This is all based on science, this here. What we do is all based on research from scholarly research, clinical studies. So mild temperature shifts stimulate the circulation, rebounding, light bouncing. It encourages lymph flow. So I actually use a red light laser frequency of 650 to 665, but that's what I do. If I have a swollen lymph node, I put that on there for just not even a minute, and it clears out all the congestion. It works for me every time. The lymph needs motion, not force. I do use some force sometimes, such as acupressure, pressing on the lymph to squeeze it out a little bit and let it go, or the area around it because it's so tender, because that inflammation, it has a pathogen or chemicals involved, and then I want to clear it out. So the lungs remove carbon dioxide and volatile waste. Slow nasal breathing improves oxygenation and supports CO2 balance. Extended exhale breathing signals of parasympathetic regulation. That means counting slowly as you slowly release. You can count to 5, breathing in, count to 7, breathing out. It helps to extend a relaxative state to your nervous system. Outdoor exposure reduces indoor pollutant load. There are plastics now in the outdoor air, and it's in our water and all around us, but I have filters that I sell, and this is what I do. They're green filters. They clear everything out of the air. I love it. So my indoor is probably a lot cleaner than the outdoors, but sometimes it isn't. Who knows? Gentle or aerobic movement enhances respiratory exchange. Gentle, not extreme. Breath itself is both intake and release. Remember that. It is not just breathing in. So detox is regulated by safety signals: 5 minutes of slow breathing daily, prayer, meditation, time in nature, laughter, and connection with other people. Predictable sleep schedule. Remember, we mentioned sleep and sleep deprivation. Predictable sleep schedule. I'll say it again. Detox slows in survival mode. Integrative detox principle. Detox supports best when load is reduced, flow is supported, energy is available, and safety is restored. Not when food is drastically restricted. Hydration is forced. The body is stressed, and elimination is overstimulated. Just think about that. Core teaching. The body does not need to be cleansed. It needs to be uncongested. So don't ignore the flow. Detox requires open, supported pathways. The body does not need to be cleansed. It needs to be uncongested. When flow is restored, healing follows. Cleanses often focus on removal without support of flow, but detoxification or detoxification is not about forcing toxins out. It's about ensuring pathways are open and supported. If waste cannot exit efficiently, inflammation starts, hormones recirculate, mitochondrial repair is diverted, cellular repair pauses. This is not a failure, it's triage. Your body is not failing to detox. It's simply by ask for less load, more flow, and greater safety. When flow is restored, detox resumes, detox completes, regeneration follows. So if you're interested in appearing on my show for mini medical intuitive reading, it's free. 715-892-7500. June did it last week. She loved it. We talked later. We even met later. She wasn't far away from me. It's fantastic. If this message is blessing you, please subscribe and share it for others that need this healing and support. This certification course, it comes from our youth regeneration and rejuvenation certification course. So if you need more information, 715-892-7500. This is Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm Dr. Gloria Warren. Until next time, honor yourselves. You're listening. By the grace of God, may we walk in health, humility, and gratitude. God bless each of you. Till next time.
This has been Medical Intuitive Insights with host Dr. Gloria Warren. Tune in each week as Gloria shares over 40 years of experience and yearns to provide knowledge derived from intuition and research. Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern.